If you're trying to get a first remote job or advance in your career, this is the video that you should be watching, right? So basically in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what you should start implementing to get your first remote corporate or freelance job in less than 21 days. Like practically, I'm going to show you the practical proven strategies and steps that you should start taking today if you want to get a first remote job, corporate job or freelance job in less than 21 days. I personally have done these things, and if you do and if you copy what works, trust me, it is actually gonna work for you. So I have this data here, right? Go ahead and read. It's difficult to provide the exact number of degree holders in Zambia, and specific data is not readily available. However, in 2021 there were 46,053 graduates, and there was a significant increase in graduation rates that year. In 2022, the number of students in higher education increased to 156,044, right? So this simply means that in total, Zambia alone is graduating arguably over 100,000 students, right, every single year. So what does it mean? It simply means that, the number of jobs are actually reducing, and in the same time the number of people graduating and living without employment is drastically increasing based on the data right here. So let's look at the data here. Say in 2022, approximately 4.1 million people graduated from college in the United States alone. 4.1 million people, with about 2 million earning bachelor's degree, right? So looking at this data right here, it simply means we have a lot more people graduating out of school compared to those that are getting jobs, meaning society is packing a lot of people with paper qualification, right? So what does this data signal to you? If you do exactly what the majority are doing, if you do exactly what everybody else is doing, you are obviously going to put yourself to a disadvantage because the market is being overcrowded. But if you do exactly what I'm going to show you, trust me, you are going to separate yourself from the crowd, and you are going to find your way out of this mess, out of this congestion, out of this saturation, right? So I'm glad you're watching this video right now, right? I'm going to show you exactly how to tap into untapped markets. I'm going to show you exactly how to position yourself, how to tap into untapped markets, how to, put yourself out there in a way that, you are the person that organization is going to hire, unlike the other millions of people that have a bachelor's degree. And this actually applies to you. Even if you don't have a degree, you don't have a certificate, you don't have any form of formal qualification, I'm going to show you, trust me, what I'm going to show you is totally going to work for you for as long as you follow step by step, right? So here is where everybody is messing things up. You think sending your CVs, waiting to be called for interviews, waiting for job boards, or sitting and complaining is gonna save you. Trust me, doing any of these things right here isn't going to save you in any way, right? So if you're seated right now complaining, or maybe you think sending that next CV is what's going to guarantee that you get the job, trust me, you are messing things up for yourself already. So if you're doing any of the above, I'm sorry, but you are going to wait everlasting. Trust me. So here is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. Trust me. Firstly, identify what career path you are going to follow. There are so many career paths that you can follow. Deep down your heart, deep down yourself, find exactly what comes natural for you, right? So probably maybe if you're too open to conversations, you love talking to people, maybe sales could be something you'd love to go into. If all you want to do is sit down, look at the computer the whole day, maybe coding, copywriting, all of those tech kinds of careers could be something that is good for you, right? So Find exactly what comes natural for you, something that you can leverage, and accomplish with very, very minimum efforts, right? That is exactly your area of expertise. That is your area, of specialty. So once you find whatever that is, could be sales, marketing, it could be, coding, copywriting, social media management, graphic designing, web development. The skills are endless. It could be, customer relationship, customer care, whatever. The skills are endless. Once you find that, identify the industry you'd love to work in. Do you want to get into the banking sector, fintech, IT sector? You want to get into consulting, whatever. Find what industry you want to work in, right? So next, what role do you want to play, right? Are you trying to play a role in sales, a role in marketing, a role in coding, a role in graphic designing, whatever, videography? Find exactly what role you'd love to play in, and next, find exactly what your unique value zone is. Okay, so in the space, in a corporate space where there are thousands and thousands and thousands of other individuals who are doing something similar to you, what is your unique value zone? If you're in sales, are there sales strategies, sales tactics, that the sales team can implement and get better results? If you're a videographer, are there shooting angles, video angles that you can implement to stand out? If you are into tax, you're a tax advisor, are there tax strategies that can help that company reduce their tax rate by 30%, 50%? Find your unique value zone, because your unique value zone is attached to the value that the company is going to see inside of you, right? The next, you have to position yourself as an authority, right? If you are going to flourish, if you're going to stand out in your career, in your area of expertise, you have to position yourself as an authority in that area. So how do you actually position yourself as an authority? So one of the ways to actually get ahead in your career is you have to continue learning. Continuous learning is actually going to put you ahead, right? So here are some of the things that you have to do. Dedicate at least 1 hour plus every single day learning your craft, learning your marketing, learning your sales, learning your tax, learning your accounting, learning systems, learning how businesses operate, learning the balance scorecard, learning whatever you can learn with regards to organizational growth, right? Then you have to emulate people who have flourished in your area. So let's say, for example, you are a business development representative. Find at least 5 people who have flourished, people who've done so well in business development, and look at exactly what those people have been doing over the period and emulate them, because success, as they say, success leaves clues. Look into the future and discover what will be relevant. I'm going to give you an example here. In the past, let's say, for example, in the financial space, people used Excel spreadsheets to actually do their books of accounts, but now we have accounting systems, right? So if you look into the future and understand exactly what is going to be relevant in the future, you can start practicing that now, so that you are the person that is relevant when the trends come in, right? So like I've told you here, this is exactly how to position yourself as an authority. Make sure that you do some daily learning every single day. Emulate people who've done exceptionally well in your area of expertise. And lastly, look into the future. Then here, we're trying to build our career here. We're trying to stand out and we're trying to flourish in our career. So what do we do? So companies, you have to understand why companies hire people. So why do companies hire people? Remember, companies don't hire people because they want staff around. No, companies hire people for 2 major reasons. The first reason, it could be they can hire you because you are going to bring in some ROI within the organization, which is return on investment, or they will hire you for convenience, meaning you save them time. So for example, if a company hires you in sales, marketing, they are hiring you because they want you to bring in clients into the business. They want you to bring in a return on investment, right? They'll spend money on marketing, advertising, and they want you to actually make more money off of the money that they're spending on that, right? Or a company will hire you to take care of their clients, right? Customer relationship. That is a convenience kind of an employment where the CEO or the other decision makers within the company, they don't have time to take up such roles, so they would rather hire somebody who they can pay to do that. So companies will hire you for these two reasons. So you have to understand, why is this company hiring me? Is it for return on investment or conveniency, right? So companies hire people who have the potential to contribute to organizational growth. So you can contribute as a convenient worker or as an ROI worker. So show them your revenue generating strategies. If you're in sales, are there any strategies that you feel can actually help that company exceptionally or exponentially grow their margins, right? So how do you systemize and automate operations? So is there a way you think they can operate their HR, automate their sales and marketing, automate their customer relationship, automate their lead generation, automate their client acquisition, automate their CRM, automate their service fulfillment, or even automate their accounting space? Is there a strategy you feel they can implement? Because the more you actually bring in such ideas within the organization, the more relevant you are to the organization. So let's start implementing now. So here is how we implement. So the first thing you're supposed to do is come up with a list of 100 companies that you admire and truly admire, and if I work in this industry, it's going to be very, very easy for me to flourish. For example, personally, I can only work in industries that have to do in financial space. I can work in consulting firms, I can work with marketing agencies. This space is where I flourish in. I can't work in in manufacturing industries, right? I can't work in any industry that has to do with manual labor, manual work. That is not where I flourish better. So similarly, find which organizations you feel you can flourish, and this is what I truly love. The banking sector, fintech, marketing agencies, staffing agencies, recruiting agencies, manufacturing agencies. There are so many industries, and trust me, whatever the industry, there could be 1, 2, or 3 that you can flourish in. Identify those industries. Then you want to find at least 100 companies you truly admire and love within those industries. That's the first task. Then the second task is reach out to the decision makers of those companies. So how do you reach out? There are 2 main strategies that you can use here. The first strategy is that you are going to connect with these people via LinkedIn, right? So how you connect with high value people is positioning yourself as a high value person. So what you can do is study their companies, look at what they're doing exceptionally well in, look at where they're messing it up, and come up with a proposal stating exactly where you feel there's a gap in that company and how you position yourself as the person who can solve that problem. And trust me, if you do that well and good, people are going to be open to you and they are going to invite you for an interview. And this is exactly how people get jobs, right? So reach out or send out a portfolio to them of previous work you've done, what you're good at, what you've studied, what you've learned, or whatever you've been doing over the period, right? And build your personal brand. Remember, people relate with people whose image they relate with. Right now, there are people you feel you relate better with simply because you've watched their content on social media, you've seen them on TV multiple times, you've been seeing those people for long enough, so now you like them, you trust them, you know them. So if at some point you were to meet these people, you feel they are people you've known and liked and loved for a long time, right? So that is how people relate. They relate with people they understand, people they've seen over and over, people they've learned from over and over, right? And next, you get hired either in corporate, remote, or you travel abroad. The results are endless. So that's exactly how you do it. So not everyone is doing this, and if you dedicate time to execute this, you will definitely fix your career, right? So I know most of you don't know exactly where to find companies to apply to. You don't know, like, where do I find the 100 companies? How do I come up with a portfolio? How do I find contact details of decision makers? And how do I get good at what I do, right? How do I create looms? Probably you have all of these questions, right? I totally understand. So here is what you need to do. That is why I created the Launch Your Careers program. It's a toolkit to launching and establishing your career. Within the Launch Your Careers program, we have about 4 friends, 3 highly valuable individuals, 2 friends from Kenya. One is a brand associate, and another one runs grants a business, right, where they help startup business owners build up their businesses, right? So, and I have James from Canada who's going to show you exactly how to flourish if you're going to be in the sales space, right? And I have Nyambe, a friend of mine within Zambia who has also done exceptionally well in his career, right? He's done a number of things. You are going to see the profiles of all of those people. So these are some of the exceptional figures that I have brought in the space to show you, to walk you through exactly how to actually get a first remote job, corporate job, or even whatsoever. Like, the results are endless, right? So here is what's inside, right? So if you click on the link that's down below here, I'm going to send to you a module that highlights everything that is in the Launch Your Careers program, right? So yeah, this is your boy, a Mapreneur Closer. I love every single one of you, and if you do this, trust me, you are going to get hired in less than 21 days. I can promise you. Thank you very much, and see you next time.